All right, guys, welcome back to Get It Done with Gabriel. Today, I'm just going to be showing you some tips on how I do my mudding. Now, back in Quebec, I'm in Arizona now, but back in Quebec, I called it plastering, or at least that's what we call it in French. So if I say plastering, I mean mudding. I feel like I'm still not used to that word. So basically, the idea with mudding is that you're trying to seal gaps in drywall so that you have a smooth looking finish. Now in the Southwest, people here are very big on texturing, and there's all these different types of texture: knockdown, orange peel, which is basically when the finished wall will have some kind of texture to it that is not smooth. I don't like that. I like smooth walls. I'm a little OCD, so that's why. I mean, there's a bunch of other reasons, but yeah. So we got a lot of tools here that we're gonna work with and a lot of different ways that we can work with them. I'm just gonna show you the way that I work with them. There's gonna be some stuff that drywall guys are not gonna like I don't like tape. I mean, is tape, paper? Tape? Paper. Paper. I don't like paper. I do my corners with caulking, but I also install all my own drywall, so my corners are extremely tight, so caulking can fill that gap. The tape can work if you've got a sloppy drywall guy that, you know, leaves you with a big opening. Anyway, the way that we're going to be doing this is that we're going to work with, the way I do it is going to be working with +3. +3 in my experience is the best kind of all around. Now, there is something called hot mud or setting compound, I believe, which guys will take one of these things in and they'll be mixing it and it sets super quickly. There's 5-minute, 20-minute, 40-minute, and 90-minute. And that's a great way to do your initial coats because setting compound will actually dry without shrinking much. But I don't have running water here. So, me, I guess. So this is the way that I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be taking a little bit of this +3. I'm going to be coming in with a mixer. I'll actually mix right in the thing. And then scoop it in. Wait, one thing first. Mesh. You want to set mesh first. So this video is going off the rails, but I'm doing one take. I don't have a bunch of time here. So you want to take some mesh, and you can use a bunch of different meshes. I like the meshes that are like a very low profile mesh. So mesh tape, you want to put a strip of it here, and then you start with, this is a 6-inch knife. Now you can work with smaller knives, bigger knives, but this is my kind of roster. It's 6-inch, 12-inch, and 24-inch. Now between these three, I feel like that's all I need. Now some people will use squeegees, and those people are weak. Now the way that I will do this is I'm just gonna dip this in here, grab a whole bunch, and then I try to fill in the divot because these two boards, the way that they come together, there's a little kind of like recessed area, and that's what we're gonna fill. Now I'm gonna have a video of doing this in real time later, but I thought I'd show you the tools of the trade first. And then once that divot is filled in, I will come in maybe with my 12-inch and just ensure that that gap is filled nicely, but I'm really not trying to build up too much. I feel like if you have to sand off drywall, or you have to sand off mud, then you didn't do it right. So that's the basics. Now here we've got different corner beads. And the corner beads, the way that they work is they basically ensure that your corners are straight, that your corners are solid. I don't know if I would do it here, I'd probably use casings, but anyway, you get the idea. I'm not sure if my camera is capturing that corner. The idea with these metal corners is that they basically make your corners solid, and when you mud them, it looks really crisp. And then these guys are flexible corners, and I'm going to be using these to make my arches, which you can see in my next video. I'll have it in the description there for you. So that's kind of like the basics. Now the way that I like to hold my arches in place is actually with something called power grab. You can put screws in, but the power grab, it allows you to kind of like really work it in. And then the way that I'll actually be doing the sanding, or ideally no sanding, is I'm going to come in later with a sponge, and I kind of just like to clean it up. All right, so that's our first coat. Second coat, 6-inch again, dip it in there, slam it on. But then I come in with a much larger one. And when I finish that, then that transition is so smooth that light doesn't really bounce off of it, because drywall is all, or mudding is all about using light as your friend or as your enemy. And I mean, normally you want to use it as your friend, but the idea is that when you scrape this, now I have a perfectly flat surface, and that's ready for painting. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I've got a bunch of other videos about stuff like this in the description, and if you want to see the finished product, just check out my other videos. Like and subscribe!